Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Today I'm going to do something a little interesting. If you'll recall, I did a video about Donald Duck not too long ago. Having filmed that, not too long ago I was on another live stream where someone made a crack about Daffy Duck being the opposite of Donald Duck. And it just made me laugh because lately, not only was I buying Donald Duck comics, but I've also been buying Daffy Duck comics. Now, I haven't got as many Daffies as I did Donald, but that inspired me to turn around and say, why don't I do a quick video on the Daffy Duck series? Because Daffy's series was not as long as Donald's, and it's certainly not as popular as Donald's either. But there were some solid books, and it has a pretty decent length of history of its own. The Daffy Duck series started like most of the other series, where it was a couple of four color issues, part of the four color series. Except, unlike most other books, Daffy only got three four color um, issues of his own before they moved on and gave him his own series. Thus, beginning with Daffy Duck #4, which I actually have a copy of. It's from Dell. Now, Daffy did not come out as often as some other titles. It was mostly quarterly or bi-monthly compared to some of the other ones that came out. Like Bugs Bunny was bi-monthly, Donald was 8 times a year. This kind of thing. Like some of the titles came out a little more often. But you'll please note that right off the bat he started off bugging Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd remained his main antagonist in most of the early Daffy issues. Here we have Daffy #14. I like the solid colors of the background. Now, unlike a lot of other Golden Age / Silver Age covers, which were red or yellow, most of Daffy's covers, for whatever reason, were green actually, and pink in a lot of cases. I don't have like any of the pink ones, but I've seen a lot of the covers over the courses of the series, and there's a lot of pink and green backgrounds, probably to color change against the black of Daffy, because we all know Daffy is black feathered. So Dell had the Daffy Duck series until issue 30, at which point 1962 had hit, and that was when Dell lost all of their cartoon licenses to back the Gold Key, and Dell only continued with their TV, etc. properties, which I've mentioned in other videos. So Gold Key had Daffy from issues 31 to issue 127. This here is issue 62. And when you get through this video, you'll see why I say green seemed to be the color of the covers. Here he is playing saxophone because, you know, Daffy couldn't be more annoying. I don't know if anybody's seen current Daffy Duck cartoons. We all know how annoying he was in the classics. But the current run of cartoons, my daughter loves Daffy Duck and says I would never want to spend any time with him. So, and here we have issue 78, which has a guest star in the book, Beep Beep the Roadrunner, from the Gold Key era. Now, one thing that I have not been able to find in my research of Daffy Duck, with the exception of 3 issues that were attributed to writer Mark Evanier and artist Jack Manning, and those were issues 89, 90, and 91. All other creators of this series are unknown. And I went to 4 or 5 different places, and other than those 3 issues, I cannot find a single creator for anything that was done with this series. So I don't know if that means like necessarily that they don't know who it is, but the fact that, you know, Gold Key's records have been destroyed for the most part when their factories in Poughkeepsie and such were shut down in Western. We're probably never going to know unless someone comes forward and says, my uncle did it and here's proof. So here we go. Here's issue 117. This is late in the Gold Key run. Now, Gold Key, as I said, had Daffy Duck until issue 127. With issue 128, Daffy Duck switched over to the Whitman format, and like all the other Whitman books of the period, ended up not being available outside of the little baggy things that they sold at the convenience stores or at like Kmart or Walmart or Woolco or whatever the store was called, Woolworths, wherever you lived. Unlike Donald Duck and the Disney titles, none of the Warner Brother titles were picked up until DC started publishing them in the 90s. Daffy did not get his own title when that happened. It was only Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny for the most part and Merry Melodies. But during this period of Dell, Gold Key, and Western, Daffy was a regular, I don't want to say contributor, I guess he was a regular feature, is the right word, I think. A regular feature in the Looney Tunes Gold Key run, as they did have a Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies title, but only during the Gold Key run. During the Dell part of that, it was mostly Porky Pig and Bugs Bunny. But he was also a one of three that was a regular in the March of Comics, which was also Gold Key from the I think 62 to 67 or 68, I believe that title was around. Daffy Duck was funny. Whoever did write the stories did a wonderful job. Certainly the artist did a great job capturing what he looked like from the cartoons. And as I said, the majority of the issues seem to have Elmer Fudd as his antagonist. Although in this issue with Beep Beep the Roadrunner, he does go up against Wile E. Coyote. It's an interesting story, actually. Daffy's trying to run a restaurant cafe in the middle of nowhere, the desert. So, and he has to be surprised when the coyote comes in and says, I want an order of Roadrunner. Anyway, but as you can see from these Daffy comics, all my covers are green for the most part. And it remained that way forever. I wish that more comics of this type would come back. I feel that comics like this would bring the children back, because adults would absolutely have no problem introducing, hey kid, I read Daffy when I was a kid. Sure, get yourself some comic books. Have some fun. And that, I think, would be how to save comics. Whatever. Anyway, leave in the comments below if you enjoyed any of these cartoon books that when you were a kid. Like if you had read Bugs Bunny or Fat Albert or The Inspector, Pink Panther, any of the Gold Key, Western, Dell titles, because I really like them myself. And after, I'm starting to get a little collection of them. And I'm just picking up a lot of them for cheap. Most of them are dollar bin books, or they're, in the case of these I paid $5. $5 for this. Now, granted, it's got this thing like this, but this is a 1950, I want to say 1956 book. And I got it for $5. And other than this little area here, the staples are together. They're not rusty. There's a couple of spine ticks that are color breaking, but honestly, this is in decent shape for a Golden Age, just after Golden Age book. And a lot of these can still be picked up, and you can find, like as I said, because unlike a lot of other titles, though they may be mangled, they were kept because they weren't burnt. Because Dells and Gold Keys and stuff were considered great for children. So they're available in bigger quantities than some of the other stuff, like Pre-Code Horror, for example. Anyway, if you like what I've done, like, subscribe, comment below, click the bell for notifications, That's one. That's a new one for today. And, hopefully we'll be able to get to see you again. Because my name is Matt, and I like comics. And I hope you do too.